All right, let's get to this. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking at some configurations. I have added a new camera. I have also added some new devices. I have changed the lighting. I've shifted my desk around. And what we're going to be doing is just going through the setup, kind of checking with people in chat to see if things are working the way I think they're supposed to be working, and just having general chit chat. When all that's done, we're going to go through and look at some coins. I don't expect this whole process to be more than about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. So if you're interested in hanging out with me for that time frame, I'd love to have you around. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you so much for being here. All right, we'll get to setting up the configuration here in just a sec. I'm just making sure all of my details are set up. All right, I think we're good to go here. Let me pop out this chat. All right, and I think we've got this down. So let's go ahead and pop this out. We'll get this chat set up. Hey, Amy, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope everything is going well with you. I'll get to this in just a second. I'm trying to just get everything set up. Because what I want to do is I also want to walk through with people that are interested in doing live streams or they want to improve. I'm using Streamlabs OBS. I've got 3 cameras set up. I've got 2 remote lighting situations, my microphone, CoinScope, and 3 monitors for basically controlling all the items. So I'm going to walk you through my general setup. I have about a half a dozen kind of setups, like holy smokes, what the hell are they called? I forgot already. My scenes, excuse me. Man, I was like, what the hell? I got a ton of the scenes. We'll be looking through those. It's not working. Oh, you know what? I know what's going on. Sorry, I apologize for the delay, folks. We'll be right with you. All right. And that's not the going on. There we go. Finally got it. All right. Now we're here where we need to be. Okay. So we're all set. I appreciate you guys over the delay in getting this set up. Thank you guys for being here and for hanging out with me today. All right. So what we're going to be looking at is we're going to look at setting up some configuration. We're going to be looking at the camera. We're going to be looking and see, are the cameras presenting like they should? What's the quality? What do they look like? We're going to be getting feedback from you. So like right now, looking at this particular setup, I'm seeing a couple different things. One of the things that I'm seeing is a reflection from one of my other lights here. So I'm going to have to adjust this over just a little bit to get the reflection off of that. So it tells me exactly where the positioning of my coin needs to be in order to get a really solid reference point. This is really important when you're trying to, maybe you're selling coins or something like that. You want to make sure you get a really solid view of that. The quality is good. Nice, good, solid contrast in the coin. So again, pretty decent. It does lean a little bit, so it does shift slightly. So I'm going to mess with the setup there just a little bit. And once again, we are straight, so we should be good there. Little bit of a lean. We'll adjust that. That's just the adjustment of the camera. And we're good there. So that's cool. Now you can see here, if you're looking at the vertical side, if you're on the horizontal side, you won't see what I'm doing right now. But you can see that I have two, so I'm going to have to open this up a little bit, up to bed. Yeah, absolutely. No worries. I got a number of things that I'm going to be kind of showing you how to walk through. I'll kind of walk through some of the setup things, and then I will go through some of the configurations. So yeah, absolutely. Come back and watch this anytime you want to. You'll see that I have a different screen behind here. This is a configuration. This is the video details for this. I don't want to necessarily show that. So I'll go ahead and turn off the display capture. That disappears because I just want to focus on this. Now I actually want to zoom in. So I'm going to grab the upper point of this, pull it across, and now you can see that I'm zoomed into that. So this gives me a really good kind of idea. Sosker, I have a 1965 penny that I want to sell. I don't buy or sell coins on this channel. I buy coins for myself. I talk about the coins. I either keep them with my collection or I trade them for other things, but I don't actually purchase or do auctions. So I apologize. If you want to know something about it, then I can definitely talk to you about the coin. No 1965 coin has a mint mark because of the law that occurred in 1965. But if you want to know more about it, I can teach you about the coins that sell, but I don't purchase coins. So I do apologize for that, but sorry. All right, so the other thing that I'm going to be looking at is, oh, by the way, let's do this. I want to see myself. Hi, how are you doing? Hope everybody's good. So I'm looking at the configuration and the utility of the position of the coins as well as me when I do my displays. And this is nice, but I actually want this to come over a little bit here. And I want to make the coin a little bit bigger. So I'm going to click in the upper right hand. I know you can't see my screen. I wonder if I should change and show my screen so that I'm about to turn in like 2 5-gallon jugs of change. You know, you got to really enjoy the search through all of those. It's something that I would do. I enjoy doing that. But not everybody would enjoy looking through that much change. That's a whole lot of change. I don't think people realize how much is in a 5-gallon bucket. It can be pretty significant. So you guys will see there that I have adjusted this. Now the way to adjust this, let me minimize this. I'm actually going to shift this over. I'm going to actually share my screen. And so I have no clue how to identify coins. Well, then you're in the right place. So if you want to learn how to do it, we can talk about that. And I'll actually, here in a few minutes, I'll be going through, instead of configuration, I'll actually be going through and looking at some coins. So we'll actually go through that. If you'll hang out with me for a little while, then we will definitely work on that, okay? Let's see, I need to share my screen. So I need to do a screen capture. So I'm going to start a new item. We're going to do screen capture. I'm going to turn the screen capture on. I'm going to bring that up to the front. And we have our screen capture now. The screen capture is going to be a little bit hard because as I'm showing you these things, you're going to see it in multiple views up here. So I'm going to keep it kind of small. But this is OBS Streamlabs, and I'm going to kind of pull this across. You'll see the whole thing. I'm running this in 2 channels. You'll see that I'm running this in vertical mode as well as horizontal mode. Now, the multi-stream chat shows up right here. You see where my hand is going up and down. And then I obviously have all of the other elements. I don't need to see any of that. You guys don't need to see that. So I'm going to slide this over here to get it out of the way. When I talk about adjusting, what I'm talking about is grabbing these little things up in here. See where my mouse is going round and round. Oh yeah, you can double click the screen to like. That's nice. I would appreciate that. Thank you so much. Now here in this portion, and again, you're not seeing that on here. So let me see if I can add the screen capture over here. actually seeing the screen capture on that screen. Why not? Live box screen capture. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to kind of cut the top of my head off a little bit, and I'll show you this. So as we're going through this, what we're looking at is this little area right here. Now you're going to see this thing up in the corner. If I drag this back and forth, it's going to adjust the size of that window. You'll see how that screen adjusts. Okay. And so when you see me adjusting the screen, that's what I'm doing. I'm actually clicking on that. Now, for those of you in vertical mode, it's going to be very hard to see up in the upper left-hand corner. Let me actually make that a little bit bigger for you. Okay, and I'll adjust this here. And what we're looking at is right here. Okay, so now that's a little bit bigger for you guys on vertical mode. You should be able to see this now. And what I'm doing is I'm holding this and then I'm dragging this up and over, okay? And that's filling the area. Now I have this area over here off to the left. And you can see that some of that is going to be cut off, right? Because I got a lot of screen here. But if I hold down my Alt key and hold it down the entire time I'm doing this, and I click on this area right here, you'll see that arrow pops up. And now I can actually minimize that to the size that I want, and then I can let that go. And now my window frame has been adjusted, okay? So I can adjust my window frame. So now my window frame is what I want to show on this particular screen. Now I can adjust my screen over here to either fit that need or adjust this again. I can adjust this down further if I need to, but in this particular case, I don't want to necessarily do that. So I can shift that over, and now I'm set. So now you can see me, but if I want to shift where I am in position, I just simply click on my image, shift it over, and now I've actually worked on the configuration of this particular view. Now I want to go to my coin search view. So down here at the bottom, okay, you'll see this area, and I have coin search. I'm going to click on coin search. The screen's going to shift, and you're going to see my coin search mode. So you'll see me either in the corner and at the bottom. You'll see the subscriber count. Oh, I'm only 3 away from 6,400. Please, if you're subscribed, if you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. Hit the like button, please, everybody. Just double tap the screen or do whatever. I appreciate it. All right, so here is my coin scope in front of me. So it's actually sitting right here. And if I move this, you'll see that I have my coins here. Now, there's a couple things that I've got to do when I'm doing a coin search. Number one, I need to make sure that the coins are going to show up the way that I see them in real life. So in order for me to do that, I'm going to have to do a couple things. The first thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to open up my CoinScope app. Now, my CoinScope is actually created by a company called Amscope. Now, I'm going to go back to Frosty and the Lightbox because I'm sharing that particular screen. So I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to show you this configuration. Now, again, I apologize that you all have to see that aspect of it. I'll try and block it off so you can't do that. So when I come over here, I'm going to click on my particular camera and I'm going to see the image here. Now I can click on this little camera icon here. It comes up. I want to scroll all the way to the bottom. And I'm going to click on properties. This is going to bring up my properties. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure that the coloration, the hue, the saturation of the coin actually match what I'm seeing. Because I want you to see the colors on the coins the same way that I do. I want to make sure that the lighting is there. And you guys will laugh if I show you my light modality here. You guys can't see that. I'll show that here in just a moment. I'll show you how I edit out my lights. So I go in here. The audacity. What's up, Ginger? Hey, I just won one of your rounds today from MLZB. I'll have to show you. It's the Dragon one, number 3. It's a beautiful thing. We'll talk about that later, though. So right now I want to look at this. I want to make sure this is just a little bit brighter. want to have a really good representation of the coin, show how reflected it is. You'll see, I'm going to shift over here to some of these coins. You'll see they look really, really nice, really, really nice, really, really nice. And then we're going to get to one that is like 1980, and you'll see that there's some changes in the coins. But as I'm shifting through these coins, as I'm going through all of these, you can see that I'm getting a fairly even color, fairly even saturation. It's not messing with the coin too much. Now, this is an extremely shiny coin. You can see all that reflection there. And so, you know, you're going to have a little bit of that, and we can adjust that by adjusting the amount of light. We can increase the light, drop the light. Whoops, don't turn the light off. Increase the lighting. You can see what that does. Gives you a lot of reflective area, so we want to drop that down just a little bit. Now we've got good solid image across. We're set, and so I can go ahead and hit apply. If you want to look at the exposure setting, I've manually set this, so we're good to go. I'll hit OK. I'll minimize this, okay, get that out of the way, and then I will go back to my configuration. So this is what I do when I'm looking at my coin scope. Now, whenever I'm looking at my coin scope, I do something that is a little bit different than most people. And this is if you're utilizing the CoinScope app, and again, if you don't have one, then don't sweat it. It doesn't matter at all. But if you do the CoinScope app, then what happens is you end up, and I had to adjust this really quick so people can see this. If you see this, you'll see that it doesn't take up the full window. Okay, and I'm moving this around so that people in the vertical mode can see this. So what I want to do is I actually want this to show up in full view. So I'm going to hold my control key down, and I'm going to zoom in until I get the image that I want to see. Okay, so that's basically what I'm doing. Now I'm doing this because in my vertical mode, now I'm going to move this out of the way. I do this so when I'm in my vertical mode, if I am clicking on coin search, so we're going to shift over to that, and we'll be looking at the coin search. The reason that I set this up the way that I do is so that my image on the CoinScope perfectly matches what you're seeing on the vertical stream. On the horizontal stream, I don't have to worry about it. You guys see the entire coin. So as I'm shifting the coin around and looking at it, you guys see the entire coin. But when I'm streaming in vertical mode, they don't get to see the entire coin. We want to zoom in a little bit more so they can actually see the variety that's there. So I zoom in a little bit and I set my coin scope and I set my little mouse pointer over what would be the center of that. And it gives me a frame of reference so that if you look at the vertical mode, I'm always looking at the center of the coin. You guys can see everything that I'm looking at every time. You're not seeing the things. So right now I'm looking at one. Right now I'm looking at the bottom of the steps. And you can see that that's always in your center field of view, right? So keeping these things in mind when you're trying to set stuff up is really important. And I promise you, it helps a ton when you're trying to share information and knowledge about coins. It's really important that you're showing everybody the same thing. So when I look at the center of the screen on my vertical mode, it's got the United there. When I look at the center of my screen on the horizontal mode, it's got United. So everybody's seeing the same thing. You just won't see as much of the coin in vertical mode. Now, if you turn it, you'll see the exact same thing as you would see in horizontal mode. So you can see both modes. That's what's cool about utilizing your phone or a tablet to watch streams, especially when you're doing coin searches. It does make it hard to chat, but you know, is what it is. All right, the last configuration I'm going to go over, and this is again showing you my configuration screen. We're talking about this setup here. Okay, so this is what we're looking at right here, and that is my final one. And this final one is the one that if you come into my Saturday or Sunday morning live streams, this is the one that you'll see. This is when I have special guests. And this one is actually connected to Restream. People use StreamYard. They use different programs. They'll use what's the MS Teams. They'll use some other program on their phone or whatnot. And the whole premise of this is I happen to use Restream for this. Now, I'm not a sponsor. I don't get paid to say this. But I like it because I can have multiple users. Hey, what's up, Ernest? And if you guys have been to my Saturday and Sunday live streams, you'll see that I have Paula Bloom from LiveCoin Q&A, Eric Beyer from Copper Coins. They're frequently on my stream. So you have 2, 3, 4, 5 people and anything that I might be streaming. So I need a software to do that. And in order to do that, I'm going to click on this. You're going to see a shift. And then this is the setup that you would see. Now, that setup links me to that. I would have to actually log into my account. I would do that by clicking on this item, going in, logging in as myself, obviously. And then when that comes up, and I'll jump into this really quick. I'll sign into that. You'll see it comes up. Streamlabs comes up. I'm not actually in this, so you're not going to see anything. And then you would actually come through, and now I would be live. So you would actually get to see whatever I was showing. Right now, I'm not showing anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift back over here, share my screen, and you can kind of see what I'm looking at here. So when I'm in this, you'll see my screen. Now I'm going to move this across, and I'm going to actually open up. This is my desktop. I'm going to actually open up a browser. And we're going to go into, I'm going to move this out of the way real quick and get into Restream. All right, so let me log in, and then I will show you kind of what I've got going on. All right, so now this is my Restream. Now, one thing about this, excuse me, I have this configuration set up for this screen that I'm showing on Restream is where I would be. Right now, I'm in OBS on this side of the screen because I'm showing you what's going on, and I want you guys to be able to see me. If you're in the vertical mode, I'll raise this up. You'll see me down here, but basically what you'd see is here. So I've got to work this configuration, right? And so in order to do this, I'm going to move my device over. I'm going to shrink that down and then adjust that accordingly. Now you guys aren't seeing this portion of it. Let me bring that back over. So as I come over here, what you're seeing is me adjusting this area. So in Restream, and this would be the Restream window, I would highlight that area that I want it to be in, and I would bring it down here, adjust it accordingly. Now, in this particular case, if I was going to be doing this, I wouldn't be showing myself. I wouldn't be on this camera because the entire screen would be Restream. Okay, so when I'm in Restream, I'm going to turn on another camera. Let's turn on my Amaze virtual screen. We'll just do this. And then I'm going to come back over to my normal stream. Now, with doing this, what's going to happen is it's going to log you out each and every time. So if, oh, I just knocked all my coins over. If you were going back and forth between this, you would have to log in each and every time. And so one of the problems with doing this, and you'll see that my screen just popped up. Now I would open this up, and now I would close this browser window. And now I'm into what I would normally see as my normal day-to-day streaming, Saturday and Sunday. Now, in this particular view, you're just seeing animes. You'd normally see me along with my panel. I'm picking up some coins I knocked on the floor. Note to self, when you're showing stuff, be careful where your coins are and don't knock them all over carpet and floor. It makes for a hard cleanup. All right. So as you're set here, you get into this location, you figure out what's going on. Now I can come into here and I can do all the settings. I can see what's going on with who my items are. If I want to bring in the other user, this would be my image or maybe another guest. And then I actually get to use this if I wanted to share my screen or if I wanted to pull something up, I could do so, right? I could share my window, share my screen, and do all of that kind of stuff. And then I would normally operate. So this configuration never changes. It's always the same. And it's always the same because, well, frankly, I stream 2 times a week, every week, pretty much without fail. So this is not one that I necessarily have to worry about. What I wanted to do is I wanted to look at the new camera and the new setup. So I want to go back to this box, and again, I'm going to continue to show you the various settings that I go through in order to do this. Now, when I look at this element, I'll shift this back over. Stop volleying your coins behind the camera. Yeah, well, I have this device, and I'm going to lift this up. You won't be able to see it very well, but this device holds a ton of coins. This particular device holds pennies. You can nickels and dimes on this as well. It's just big enough for nickels and dimes. It's too small for quarters. You have to have another one for quarters, but this particular one allows me to look at multiple coins and slide them kind of along a line, and I don't have to look at one coin and then one coin and then one coin. So now when I'm looking at multiples, it's really nice. What's cool about this is I set all of these up. Let me go over to the other screen real quick and I'll show you when I click on coin search. So again, you'll see that every time I'm changing, what I'm actually doing is I'm coming here to the screen and I'm clicking on whatever view it is that I want. So when I click on this, Anthony Lee, thank you for subscribing, much appreciated. When I click on this and it goes to my coin search, again, I am blocked because I have this up here, but here's my coin search. So I want to hide this particular piece. I don't want that there. Okay, and so now I'm back into my coin shop, my coin scope. And I have my coin scope, I have my channel logo and the subscribe button and all of this stuff. By the way, I only need 2 more. Oops, 2 more. So let's get to 6,400 before this is over. I appreciate it. And then I look at my coin scope. Now the thing that's cool about this, and I'm going to shift my microphone out of the way for just a second, is when I have this, all of these coins, and I'll try to bring this in a little bit so you can see this, all of these coins have been set up to where they show the reverse, okay? Now what I can do, I got to set this down to do it, is I have another one of these. And I put this over the top and then I just rotate it over. Now when I rotate it over, give it a little shake, and I set that down, and now I just turned those 15 coins over to the obverse, or the head. So now what I can do is now I can look at the fronts of all of the coins, and I don't have to worry about touching these, you know, over and over and over and over again. And you're going to see that some of these coins aren't in very good shape. Some of these coins are older. They don't have that same luster, and they're very dark. And so when you have something that's very dark and you need to increase the light, then you just come over to your light source and you increase your light, right? And so now I can see this a little bit better. I look at it, but when I come over here, now it's all washed out. So, you know, you're going to have to adjust the light accordingly, do what you need to do, and then yeah, adjust. Lighting is extremely important. Lighting is one of those things that you need to look at. Now, I'm still not happy with this color. And again, so I would go back to my camera, and I would actually open up my preferences, click that camera, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust that light. That light, we want it to come down a little bit. So there, now we have a little bit better. There's not as much reflection. And as I go through the coins, you can see this coin is a little bit more bronzy looking. This is more copper looking. You can see that. So you're actually getting a really true test of what the coin looks like. And so when I do a coin search, and again, this is just for reference sake, I do have some coins I can look at. I actually have something that I want to show you that is actually pretty cool related to coins. And I can go through that with you here in just a second. But now I can actually look through this and I can look at the elements. Now I know that there are no varieties in this particular set of coins. I'm just doing this because they change in color, they change in year. We have some zinc in here. You can definitely see when you look at this particular coin, you can see the design elements of it. You can see that kind of nasty kind of surface. Now it looks dirty, it is a little bit dirty, but when I come over to this one, you can definitely tell the difference between that copper coin and that zinc coin, right? You can see the lettering is there. You can see the differences in the field, definitely differences in the letter. I mean, it's completely different design. The font is different. And so when I'm looking at coins like this, I don't want to have to continuously adjust every time. So if you take some time out and you really work on getting your color, your saturation, your focus, and then you get something like this little tool here, then you don't have to constantly worry about shifting and changing. Now, this particular item, it's made of cherry wood. They run 45, 50 bucks or something like that. There are two of them. There are channels. The channels are both the same. And again, they come in pairs. The reason they come in pairs is so that you have easy flip capability. This one's for pennies, nickels, and dimes. And then there's a bigger one for $50 and even bigger one for, or excuse me, bigger one for quarters, even bigger one for half dollars. So this is a really cool thing, and it actually does save a lot of time. Now I've had this for over a year, but because of some eye issues and just not really trying to look at as many coins as I was before, I just didn't use it. And I'm finding that it's an extremely, extremely cool tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump all of these into a little baggie. Oh, by the way, that's another cleanup. Here, so check this out. Okay, so instead of having to pick them up, you just pick this up, you get the little baggie, and then you just slide those things into the baggie. It's done, it's over, it's set. And so that's really nice. Now I do have some coins here that I want to show you, and one in particular, which is this one right here. Now I'm going to turn the light off. I'm going to have to adjust this a little bit. This one's going to be, again, one of those things where you have to play with the lighting, adjust some stuff. I'm going to have to actually move my coin scope just a little bit to make sure that I encompass the lighting like I need to. Because I moved from copper coins to silver, I really need to focus on the lighting, where the light is coming from, and any potential reflective thing. But check this out. Hey, what's up, Copper Owl? Dude, you got here at just the exact right time. So I picked up, this is a round. And this round, I'm actually going to pull that away from the scope. This is actually an Operation Iraqi Freedom, or Operation Desert Storm, January 16th, 1991. It is a 39 fine silver, and on the back it shows the Navy. Now, I was in the Navy as part of this. And so I found this. Now, when I looked at it, I didn't know that originally when I picked this piece up from Mad Stacker, I didn't know that there was going to be this particular item. Now, I'm going to adjust the lighting just a little bit more. I'm going to actually change the tone of the lighting and make it a little bit darker. And I'm going to adjust just a little bit more so that you can see this really, really clearly. That's a really good representation. The coin is silver, but this gives you a really, really nice look at the doubling in this particular coin. So now I have a question for those of you in chat, okay? No, you are not drunk, Ginger. You are, in fact, seeing double. But just so you're aware, I got ginger beer here. This is non-alcoholic, and it's really, really good stuff. So cheers to you, Ginger. Oh, and that's spicy. Oh, yo, yo. Ha, 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 ha. That'll wake you up in the morning. All right. So I want to ask a question. What type of doubling do you think this is? Do you think this is a doubled die? Now, a doubled die is something that happens on the die itself when they're actually hubbing in the coin or the metal, whatever it is. When they're hubbing in that design from the hub to the die, there is a shift, a bounce, a move, whatever it is, in the creation of the die itself. Now, there's a difference between a double struck coin and a doubled die coin. Now, a doubled die, not a double die, a doubled die. It means that it's been duplicated, it's doubled. It's on one item, but you're seeing two elements. So is this a bounce? Is this a double struck? Or is this a doubled die? Now, I'm going to kind of walk you through this. Copperelle coins, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is a doubled die? Or do you think this is a double struck coin? So we'll talk through this. I'm going to show you a little bit more and a couple things that I want you to look at. And again, folks, make sure you're double tapping that screen if you're watching vertical, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, hit that thumbs up, right? It really does help the channel. It doesn't cost you guys anything. Support the growing channel. My goal is 10K. I've got a little ways to go. I was hoping I could get there by the end of the year, but it's going to be really close. I need your support to get there. All of the above. No, it is not all of the above. But as you look at this, I want you to notice a couple things. I want you to look at, I'm leaning towards double struck. Okay, perfect. So let's look at the very top. You see that design there, right? And you can see that that's kind of doubled. You can see the doubling in between that. But there's a line right here. And this line, let me grab a pen real quick. Grab my little pointer. This line right here is really what I want to look at. You see that line right there? I'm going to spin this, and I want you to tell me what happens with that line. So as I spin it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And where it's the thickest is where that doubling is. Okay? So as I continue to spin this around, right? Now I'm spinning the coin for a very specific reason. I'm not turning it. You're seeing there's a very clear doubling. Okay? Now what I want to do is I want to get here to where it starts to come back together. And you'll notice that it's really starting to separate. And I mean, you see it in this ring, and I'm going to show you some other places. You'll see it here very solidly in the ring, but you can really see the thickening on this end of that item. But when I get here, there's no doubling. There's no doubling in the serifs. There's no doubling in the letter, the collar. This little area right here, this design element, is the design it's supposed to be. There is no more doubling in between these even. It was a very uneven stamped coin. Yes, it was a very uneven stamped coin, but the question is, was it double struck or is it a doubled die, right? And so when you think of a doubled die, you have to realize what is incuse in the coin or in the die and what is relief on the die. And so if you look at a relief on a coin, it's obviously going to be sunk into the die, right? It's going to be incuse on the die. So a raised relief, incuse die, okay? If it's incuse on the coin, then it's going to be raised on the die. So I've got this little tool. Let me show you this. Let me grab this. This thing is something, and you guys are probably going to laugh at me, but this is something you guys have seen. This is something that I have used to explain kind of this process. You guys know these things? You put your hand in and it holds the pattern. Well, this actually shows a really good example of the difference between doubling a double struck and a doubled die. And so I'm going to show you that real quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I am going to, oops, that's the wrong one. I'm going to share this, but instead of doing that, I'm going to actually share myself. I'm going to bring myself down and I'm going to make myself big. So this is something that we're going to do. I'm going to actually increase the size here, and you'll see a little bit, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to be showing it here so that you'll be able to see this. Okay, so this is the little tool that I'm talking about. And again, folks, if you guys like this, please subscribe. I mean, it doesn't take much. I appreciate it. All right. So if I push on this, okay, what I'm seeing is that on the die, this right here is in Q's. Okay, it goes in. But if I look at the other side, which would be what the coin looked at like, that is raised. And so this is what it would look like on the die. It would be sunk into the coin, or it sunk into the die. But when it actually struck the coin, it would be raised. And so when you're looking at double die, when you're looking at that kind of stuff, understand that the die is the opposite of the coin. So if it's raised on the die, it's sunk in on the coin. If it's sunk in on the coin, it's raised on the die. Okay, so this is just a little tool that I have. It's a child's toy, but it's extremely effective, and it really helps talk to those items. So let's go back to the coin search, and we'll go back and we'll look at this again. So as we look at this, what we're seeing is we're seeing that this is, it's pretty much fine, except it immediately shifts and it goes from really, really bad to nothing to it's really off again. And then it's on and then it's off again. So do you think, yeah, it's a really good educational toy. And I happened across it by happenstance. But here's the thing. So when we look at it, it's not done. It's not, the entire coin hasn't shifted in the same direction. Okay. When I look at the doubling on this, it actually goes in. So you can see that that first strike, it's bounced and went out. If I take this straight across and I come over here, it's that same position, right? It's the same strike, it's that same shift. But why then did this not double? Okay, so I want you guys to think about this for a little bit. If the entire surface of the coin was restruck and it bounced, could it have bounced in such a position, in such a way that that didn't move, but everything around it did? The answer is no. Because you have, when you're doing a doubled die, when you have a doubled die, there is a point in which that shifted, either left, right, which is, you have type 1 doubling, which the entire thing rotates. You have type 2, type 3, all the way up to type 8. And depending upon the type of doubling, it tells you that there is a point. It might be the center of the coin. So the center of the coin might be there and everything around it rotated clockwise or counterclockwise. Your spot may be 2/3 of the way up the coin. And so it shifted from that point. When I look at this particular one, there is a point in which it's here, and it's right here. This is the point in which there's no doubling. That wouldn't happen on a double struck coin. That would only happen on a doubled die. So this tells you, again, knowing the minting process is extremely important in identifying these things, but knowing the process actually helps you identify that this is actually a double die. Now, in this particular case, I don't know that this double die holds any value. I don't know how many of them there are. I had somebody ask me if I would be sending this off for grading, and I'm like, no, no way. It's really cool, and it would be fun to have in a slab. But why? What's the purpose in it? And this is the thing about grading coins. Sometimes when you grade coins, there's a reason for it. Now I've got these coins over here. Again, we're going to shift out of this mode. I'm going to go back to the light box. This is why I like this setup. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. I'm going to move this over. Now, this particular coin right here, this white coin, okay, let me get this all out of the way and let me actually stop showing that. There we go. And so what I'm looking at here, and I'm going to zoom this in for you guys just a little bit on that side. What you're looking at here is we're looking at the right-hand coin. That is the 1995 doubled die. Now we're going to move this. I'm going to grab that coin from over here, and I'm going to bring that coin here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at this particular coin and see kind of the doubling that happens with this particular coin. Now, again, when I turn the light of the microscope on, you can see it a little bit better, but you do get that lens refractory thing. So you got to take that into consideration if you're utilizing the lens or the light on the coin scope itself. But as you can see, there is some serious doubling in God We Trust. Is there anybody who's looking at this that doesn't see the doubling? Is there anybody that, oh, well, right now nobody sees it because I'm not sharing the right screen. Hold on. There we go. How about we do that? That's a little bit better. Is there anybody who doesn't see the doubling on In God We Trust? What we're looking at is right here. So you see the D, and then you see there's an additional portion. You see the O, you got kind of that cat's eye. You see that G. The G is really nice. But what we're looking at to really, what you're looking, yeah, I know, I realize that, freaking us, and I apologize. What we're seeing here is that little split in the serif there, the little split in the I. If you look over here on the W, look at the top of the W, you can see that right here. And again, it's important when you're looking at things through a scope that you rotate the coin. Oh, let's see, who just subscribed? Just a sec, let me get there. Sorry about that, I'm moving stuff around. Oh, Tiger Stacker with the $5 super chat. Hey, bud, what's going on? I appreciate you so much. No, hey, folks, we have some good news. Tiger Stacker just hit 2,000 subscribers. So give him some thumbs up. Show him a little bit of love in the stream. I'm going to do a giveaway here in a little bit to honor his 2,000 subscribers. So if you're in chat watching, again, you've got to comment in chat to be eligible. So make sure you're putting something in chat. I'll give you guys about 5 minutes to put something in chat, and then I'll do a drawing for a giveaway. So put something in there, doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's more than an emoji, it needs something else to pick up, and then I'm going to be putting that there in just a second. But congratulations, Tiger, on hitting 2,000. That's awesome. Yeah, very, very cool. So again, is there anybody who can't see the doubling there? And again, as we come over to the 1995, again, you don't really see, you can see a little bit there, but you don't really see it. You come over here to Liberty, and you can certainly see Liberty. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the doubling. So when we look at this, the position in the in, up there at the top in God, you see the God there. And if I come back over and I look at Liberty, you'll see that it is counterclockwise shifted. Dropping a like, freaking awesome. Hey, sharing his post. Thank you so much, freaking awesome, for doing it. Everyone and all, how are you doing? Thank you so much for being in here. What's up, John Hanna? Hope you all are well. And again, if you're watching vertical and you haven't subscribed, you're watching horizontal and you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. Only 2 away from 6,400. My goal is 10K. Now, the channel is growing pretty fast, but it's not growing as fast as I would like it to. If there's information that you want to learn or something that I can help you with, let's go ahead and talk about that. All right. So again, we look at this particular coin. Now, I want to remind you something, that we were looking at different types of coins, and they were not in plastic. Now, this is in plastic, but I want you to look at the quality of the image. Okay, so the quality of the image stayed basically the same. Amy Harrell with the $7 super chat. I appreciate the info, Frosty. Amy, I appreciate your support a ton. Give that thing a little bit of love. I definitely appreciate it. Tiger and Amy, thank you so much for the support. I definitely appreciate you guys. But when I changed to, from this coin, again, there's a little bit of a shift that I have to do. Now, obviously, the focusing is off, but when I get my camera set up and my lighting set up, you can see that I can come to this. Now, it is shiny, and so I do have to deal with the shininess. So I still have to mess with my lighting a little bit. You can see that I shifted my light a little bit there. I can open it up, close it. Oh, by the way, you guys want to see my little fancy light shifting thing? Okay, you guys are going to laugh. Look. It's a toilet paper roll. It's a paper towel roll. And all I do is I slide it up and down my light to give myself the increase. I don't have to adjust with switches and knobs or anything. I just adjust. So once I know the basic point, and again, folks, I'm high tech, but save money where you can, right? Use the tools that are available to you. There's a lot of ways to do this hobby without spending a bunch of money. So don't spend crap loads of money on this hobby. There's ways to stream and do all that stuff without a bunch of money. But anyway, I can adjust this. I can pull this out. Again, I just slide that thing a little bit. Slide it a lot. That's good. I just adjust it. It's done. When I come back over to this one, again, it's just a matter of focus. Now, I can focus one or two ways. I can either slide it down, bring it a little bit closer. That's the easiest way to do it. It's the fastest way if you're searching through. But anyway, so here is a nice doubled die. And if you look at this particular one, you're going to see something. You'll see that there in the T and around the date, it's not doubled. We see the exact same thing that we saw in the Navy coin. And this is what helps confirm that this is actually a doubled die and not a double struck coin. And so again, if you know the minting process, you can look and check things out, then that's fine. Hey, Joe Lowe, so if I say J-Lo, folks, I'm talking to Joe Lopez. So J-Lo, the coin scope that I'm using to look at this particular one, which is the light box, that camera I just picked up at Walmart tonight, it is this thing. It's the On. It's 35 freaking bucks. It's a 4K camera. You can't zoom in, zoom out, so you have to set it where you want it. But if you have something where you're showing something specific and you're going to be putting the same different things in that same spot, or you're going to be showing it like this where, you know, I'm going to come over and I'm going to just put a coin here and I don't have to do anything with it. This is a $35 4K camera that is extremely good. You can utilize the settings through Streamlabs OBS to adjust the color, tonation, contrast. You can adjust the clarity, the sharpness. It's a really, really good camera and it's cheap, real cheap. I picked one up tonight because, again, like I said, I was redoing my setup. Also, many of you guys might notice that I have a picture behind me, an image. Well, guess what? This is real. Okay, so I'm actually not doing green screen projection anymore. And I look poor. You know what? I'm married with 3 kids. So, and I collect coins and artwork. So, yeah, I am poor. But I'm not poor in spirit and I'm not poor in energy. So, yeah, I'm definitely not poor. I I like being comfortable. And again, we're just going over stuff and walking through some setups. If you guys are trying to learn how to stream or you want to gain information on stuff, this is what I'm here for. Now, as far as my setup, what I have sitting in front of me is I have 3 monitors. On my monitors on the right-hand side, and I'm not moving my camera, I'm just going to explain it to you. On the right-hand side, I've got a 32-inch monitor. This 32-inch monitor displays my configuration data. It never gets shared. It's not part of the stream. But what that does is it tells me how good my internet's going. It tells me what's happening, how many people are here, and one of my chats is over here. My other chat is on my next monitor. That's the one that I'm pointing at. That's the one that you're at. This is next to my camera. My camera is here, my monitor's here, the other monitor's there. This monitor is my Streamlabs OBS, and that's all I present, along with one chat window. Now, the reason that I do this is because the other screen that I have has my microscope or my coin scope and the camera for my other one. So I'm looking at 3 monitors right now, and I'm streaming on 2 platforms. So I'm streaming on 2 platforms. I have 2 chats, and I have 3 monitors to monitor. And I have 3 cameras, a microphone, and then obviously my keyboard, my mouse, my coin scope, and my coins. So when you guys are talking in chat on Sundays and Saturdays, and I'm not responding, it's not that I don't want to say hi to you. It's an actual production. And I've got a bunch of stuff on my desk. And again, I don't want to necessarily show you. Actually, you know what? What the hell? Let's do this anyway. I'm going to show you, just kind of swing around. So I've got monitor, and that monitor I just turned off, by the way, because you guys don't need to see my configuration stuff. I've got lighting in the back, and I got 2 little lights. Now, these lights are nothing major. These lights are simply those, if you do automotive work, and I went and bought some controllable bulbs. I control them with my phone. I can change the light and everything through here. It's a pretty decent setup, but I didn't spend tons of money to get it. What I did is I did things slowly. I looked at things like, if I'm going to shift, what element do I really want people to see? If I'm going to be showing coins, what setup should I have? If I'm going to be adjusting and I need to adjust my light and the quality of the image that I'm showing, how do I do that? What is the best setup for that? And I talked with Copper Coins a lot, looked at Livecoin Q&A, watched a number of streams, and each stream, each setup, I worked on improving it just a little bit more. Because again, I want you guys to bring, and if you look at the image down here right now, it's good quality. There's good color, the skin color looks good. I got true colors on the art and the wall. I'm seeing good quality stuff. So it's just a matter of taking your time and really learning setup. Now, oh yeah, no worries. I got to get up in the morning too. I got a VA appointment at 9 o'clock, but I'll still get some good sleep. But have a good one, Amy. Take care of yourself and hope you're well. Thanks for coming in too. I appreciate you being a channel member. I definitely appreciate the support and for the super chat. All right, so let's go through. Do you guys have any questions on setup, configuration, maybe looking at how to do something specific? Do you want me to teach you how to set up a new scene in OBS? Do you want me to teach you how to add a camera? Do you want me to teach you how to add some audio? What would you guys like to see? Do you guys want me to say less and just start pulling out coins? I can show some coins, pick some stuff randomly off the desk. I've got some slabs here. We can look at some slabs, see if we can find anything there. What would you guys like to do? I'm going to be on for another 15, 20 minutes. So if that's something you guys want to do, tell me what you guys want to do and let's do it. I got time. What is... I will show you guys a couple of coins that I got in while I'm waiting for you guys to do this. One of these was sent to me. So I don't know if you guys know who Mike Pepsi is. I purchased a couple items from him and he sent me this coin. Now I haven't looked at it. He told me to look at it for any variety or anything of that nature. So let's go ahead and look at this. This is a 1953. So I'm not seeing anything on the date. Oh, that's a great question. What should, no worries, Jilo. What should I be looking at? So, and I'm looking at this particular item. What am I looking at? Well, I don't know the answer to that because I don't have my resources available. So I would want to open my resources. So if I'm looking at copper coins, I first and foremost go to coppercoins.com. Now, coppercoins.com is a site that I use all the time when I'm looking at doing advanced die searches. Now, I'm going to, once again, I'm going to move some stuff. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to go over this with you so that you can see this. So let me adjust this really fast. I'm going to change the screen share. I'm going to change this frosty light box over. I'm going to bring back over the screen capture. Okay, let's go ahead and, again, I'm going to adjust this. So I want to hold down the Alt key, open that up. That's going to allow me to see the full website. And then for use on the vertical stream, I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller and bring this down, and I will walk through each section of this and make sure that you guys are tracking where I'm pointing to and what I'm looking at. So on coppercoins.com, and I have rights to be able to show this based off of Chuck Daughtry's permission. All the images on here are the sole property of Copper Coins, so I don't claim ownership or any rights to the images that you're about to see. I want to be very clear about that. Chuck Daughtry is an amazing guy, very knowledgeable, and he has allowed me to pull this stuff up on my live stream and just show you. So the year I'm going to be looking at, let's go ahead and plug that number in here, and I'm going to be looking, this is 1953, and you don't have to do until because I'm only looking at one, and this is a Philadelphia. So we're going to be looking at Philadelphia, and then we'll come down here and we will look at double dies, obverse, reverse, and mint mark varieties. Now, why did I select those particular things? Because I don't necessarily know what I'm looking at. Now, the question is, should I have selected mint mark varieties? No, absolutely not. There is absolutely no reason for me to search the mint mark variety simply because there's not going to be any mint marks on Philadelphia, right? So I don't have to look at that. That's not something that I need to concern myself with. So let's take that off. All right, let's search. All right, so we do have two items that we're looking for. One is a doubled eyelid, 1DO number 2, and one is doubling inside that 19. Oops, you're not seeing that here. Let's go back here and let's show those again. Sorry about that. I'm going to cover myself up on the vertical mode and give you guys a little bit better view of what exactly I'm looking at. Okay, so the top one here, the one on the left top is the 1DO number 1. And then again, the bottom one is that double eyelid. So this is what we're going to be looking at on that particular coin. Okay, so we're going to go back over here to the coin search. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look and see if we have any doubling in that 19. We'll zoom in just a little bit, not much. We'll focus this up, adjust the lighting the way we need to get a little bit more light on there. And are we seeing what we saw in that particular item? No. So there's no doubling in this particular element. I don't see anything there. there isn't anything displaying. There's no crease, there's no shift. So no, there's nothing there. So if there's nothing there, then the only other place I have to look is in the eye. And so if I look in the eye, I'm looking for any kind of doubling. So let's adjust that there. And I'm rotating the coin because I want the light to show me different things. And I'm not seeing anything there. So unfortunately, there were only two elements for this particular coin, one DO1 and one DO2. It's not there. And there's no double die reverses on this one. We can look at the reverse if you want to. But again, when we looked at it, we didn't see anything on the double die reverse. So we didn't see anything there, but we can go ahead and look at this just because, and we'll look and see if there's any doubling, any pluribus unum. There is not. Look at that wheat stock. Actually, yeah, nothing there. And I got a dog scratching at my door. Hold on. Go upstairs. All right, sorry about that. My dog has somehow opened the gate and made her way to the office, so I had to go take care of her. Apologize for that. Hey, what's going on, Bart? How you doing? So the coin that was sent to me is not a variety. I'll let Mike Pepsi know. He's like, oh, look at it. Hopefully you can find something and see if there's anything there. This particular coin comes from some certification. Don't know who they are. They're a third-party grader. I've never seen this. But anyway, so I have that piece. But the piece that I really wanted to show you is this one right here. I'm going to come back over here and I am going to adjust myself. Hold on. There we go. And I'm going to show you a coin that I just picked up from Mike Pepsi. Now, I know some of you guys in here like stories. Hey, Coin Dude, what's up? Good to see you. I was trying to root for your win. I tried to will it into existence. It didn't happen. Sorry about that. I was giving you the go. All right. Now, I'm really happy about getting this coin. And I am a person of story. I like stories. I like history. And I like these things that they're different. They're odd. They're not your normal day-to-day coin. Now, I like varieties and errors, don't get me wrong. But there are certain coins and there are certain stories about those coins that really mean a lot to me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the date. We're going to look at a couple things. We're going to do an identification of what's called the VAM. The VAM is the pairing of this. And by saying VAM, you should know that we're talking about a Morgan. So what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about this coin right here. If you guys don't know what this coin is, Tiger Stacker just gifted 5 more memberships. Is that what I just saw? Sure enough, Mama T, Wrench Repairs, 3D Woodworks, Mick Ranger, and Big E. Please make sure you're saying thank you to Tiger Stacker for that. Tiger, I appreciate you, brother. This is a really neat coin. Anybody know what that is? Don't tell me Morgan Dollar. I know that. Anybody know what that is? You can read it. You can see it. Give you guys just a moment if you guys know what that is. We'll talk about that. What I'm going to do right now, though, is we're going to look at, we're going to make this a little bit different. We're going to shift this up a little bit and adjust the lens. Let's get that there. And again, this is one of those things where I want to turn down as much as I can the light and shift this over. There is a little bit on that coin. It doesn't look like it's on the slab. It looks like it's on the coin. I'm going to be looking at that date very carefully. I don't see anything really interesting with the date. Let's shift this a little bit. There we go. That's better. Looking at the Morgan, we're going to be looking at E pluribus unum. And again, it's very important you know where your close, coin dude, not red line, it's red field. But I knew where you were going. That's a good job. Nicely done. Yeah, this is the Redfield Horde. And this is a year I don't have. It's graded MS63 by NGC. Oh, holy smokes, I'm not showing you guys this. Sorry. Change screens. This is a lesson we all need to look at. You'll see that nice velvety red there. That is the outside of the holder for this particular one. Now, I want to issue you guys some warning. Okay, I'm going to pull this out. If you get something like this, never crack it out. Never crack it out of this particular slab. The moment you crack that out, you lose the value of that because they can no longer confirm that that coin is where it came from. So don't crack those things out, okay? If you're in dire need, you're trying to sell it or something, and you need to get things taken care of, take it to your coin shop, get a hold of me. I will make sure that we get you connected to people, but don't crack it out of there, please. There's a whole story that goes with that particular set of coins, and only those coins are in that package. And the moment it's been tampered with, you'll never get that designation again. And so it's important that you understand that. Now what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at the denticles to see if that's dye deterioration. I need to adjust my light a little bit. And that's exactly what I'm seeing is dye deterioration on that. Now, what I'm also looking at with the date is to see if there's anything underneath one of those. So maybe there's another line item there. I don't see anything there. Again, it's very important that you rotate your coins. And now we're going to go to the reverse. We're going to look and see if we see anything. You see that S mint mark? Let me adjust the lighting a little bit. So now we're going to be looking to see if maybe we have an RPM. I don't see anything on the serif. Looks like there's a little bit of a hit on that S. But I don't see a repunchment mark. And I'm not seeing any doubling. All right, so I'm not seeing any really major anything that's going to stand out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a site that is called VAM World, V-A-M World. And I'm going to look for this particular coin and I'm going to see if we can identify the VAM. Now to do that, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to come back over here to Lightbox and I'm going to type in VAM World. VAM World comes up. You're going to look Morgan dollars by date, top 100, 83 cc's. You're going to be looking at the various ones that are here. I'm going to be doing it by date because I need to know what's going on. And this particular one is 1887. So I'm going to go to 1887. I'm going to click on S, which is shift this across, 1887S right here. So I'm going to click on that, and then you're going to see the items that are here. And you're going to be looking at a number of VAMs for this particular one. So in order to look at this, we're going to look for left damage, no denticles. We're going to be trying to find something that stands. We're going to look at the date. So in this particular case, we have a near date and a very near date. We're going to be looking to see if we can find one of these. I don't see any doubling. So if we don't see any doubling, that rules out a lot of these. I can look at the front of the coin and look at the hair. And so I'm going to split this screen really quick. And I'm going to pull my coin scope over, and I'm going to share my screen so that I'm going to make this a little bit smaller for you guys. Unfortunately, I know it's going to be small, but I want you guys to be able to look at the VAM as well as doing that. I know it's going to be small, so bear with me. Okay. And I'll be talking about the VAM, and I'll be showing you. I'll pull this over so that you can see what I'm looking at, and I'll show you each time what it is that I'm pointing at. There we go. Okay. So again, I'm going to be looking for the die crack in the hair. I don't see any. Actually, I got to adjust this. I'm not seeing the die crack in the hair. So that rules out two more. There's no doubling on the 1. There's no doubling on the 8 and the 8. There could be doubling on the third 8, but I really don't think that that's what that is. So it's going to take out going to take out 9 on. So I don't have to look at anything. So I need to look at 1, 1B2, 2A, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. That's what I'm going to have to be looking for in order to find this particular one. All right. Double check that. Now, are we close to the rim? We might be. So let me check and see what that means by close. So near date, let me go look at the images and see what it says. So the first thing that I'm going to be looking at, you'll see as I bring this across, actually do this, you'll see that there's a red line that shows this one connection to this tentacle. So what I want to do is I want to take my coin and I want to put it in relation to, I'm going to do it upside down just because it's going to be easier for me. I'm going to see if that aligns with that center point, and it's got to be exact, not even close. So when I put that line, it hits a little bit looks like it's a little bit too far to the right. Doesn't look like it's the same thing. So let's go look at the 7. And again, when we're looking at these, what I'm looking at is, make this a little bit bigger. When I'm looking at this, what I'm doing is I'm looking at this area on the 1 to see if that aligns here. And it's kind of close. If we look at this, you look at this area right here in the 1, it's kind of close, but I can't quite tell if this aligns. There's a little bit of die deterioration that you don't see on the other one. It doesn't look like it goes directly between it. And so because it doesn't fit exactly, I'm going to say that this is not it. And so it's not going to be the near date. So let me go look at the very near date. I think the very near date is different. It's set in much further than normal. That's not going to be any much different than the one that's there. So it's not going to be 5. I can look at number 8, which is a far date, but I need to see what that's like in relation. Now, when I look at this particular one, and I look at this far date, what we're going to see is that line actually goes just to the left of that element. And when I look at this particular coin, it actually goes to the left and it actually leans over here. So this particular marker is correct. So this particular marker looks right. So if we go down, we're going to look at those two 8s. We're going to look for a little die break in the right of that 8. It's right there. It is there. Scroll down a little bit, look at that 7. There should be a little bit of something underneath that 7 right there. You see those die scratches here and here. There's a little bit of die where this might be a little bit different states, but it does look at that. So now we need to look at Liberty inside her bonnet. And what we're looking for on Liberty, get this into the same place, is this little die deterioration dot that's right here. So we have all of those elements. So what this tells me is that this particular one is VAM8, which is a FAR date. Now, what I don't know about this particular coin, and I'd have to check with somebody to do the due diligence to verify that, is to look at some of the other markers. We see the die crack in the head. I'm not seeing the die crack. There it is. Die cracks right there. There's actually a split. You see 2 of them. It's there. So this is actually confirming that this actually is BAM FAR 8. Now it has all of the die cracks. It has the little pairing here. It has everything you need. So let's go look at one random one. Let's go look at the S on the back. The S on the back is going to tell you its position and where its position should be in relation to this. And when you do a line, if I was to split a line between the serif and the bottom, it splits right in the middle. If I come here and I go straight down, it actually splits that coin. So again, confirmation, this is FAR 8. So if I'm wondering what VAM, this particular one, this is VAM 8, FAR 8. And so now I need to look at this particular coin and find out if this is something that is very special, if this is something that fetches a demand. So one hasn't sold on any archive other than eBay based off of this site for a number of years. Unfortunately, I would need to go look at this. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go try and find this coin on PCGS. Why am I going to look on PCGS? Actually, I should look at this on NGC. So let's go ahead and open that up and let's type in NGC. We're going to come down to the Grady Company and we're going to search this particular coin. Okay, we'll close this out. And I want to look at come over to the menu. And I want to find 1887 S BAM 8 RD. They give a registry winner. Let's see if the registry has that in there. No, it's not there, so I'm going to move over to PCGS. Okay, so we're going to do 1878 S BAM 8. Oh, 1887, not 18. VAM 2, VAM 11, VAM 8. It's tripled hair. not VAM 11. Don't think it's this one. I need to look at the triple hair and see. $18.87. Why am I not seeing the 1887? Why is it showing 92? Not what I want. It is being a pain. It's not wanting to work with me, and I don't know what's going on with it. What's going on, Bart? How you doing, bud? Yeah, I need to go to bed too. I'm just trying to figure out this VAM, and I don't know why it's not showing up. Let me do something else. Let me just do 1887 S Morgan VAM 8. That's the only thing it doesn't actually give. Let me see if I can find anything here. Do you recommend my neighbor to submit a very, very nice MS67 63 penny? It kind of depends. So it doesn't look like it is a particularly valuable one, but that's just giving me the 1887. It's not actually giving me the proper VAM. So unfortunately, I don't have, it says VAM 8, but it's not listing VAM 8, and it's saying that it's 99 bucks. I know the Redfield coin is way more than that. If I do, just so you guys are tracking, 1887 Morgan, you'll see that this coin sells for quite a bit more. And again, when you're looking at this, you'll see that they've been run. So you'll see that there's a significant, this is $535 PCGS price guide. And again, they change, right? So you look at different comps, they change a little bit. But that's about the right price for this particular coin. But anyway, that's how you identify a coin. I'm not sure why this has the sell price of 382. I'm trying to figure that out. And that's again, one with this hasn't sold since 2018. So it's been a number of years. These things have gone up in value quite a bunch. If you go look at the eBay listings and you look at the sold ones, you're going to see the numbers much higher. And so you'll see that the numbers for these are much higher. If you go to the sold listing, you'll see that anywhere between $600 and $750, $800 for this particular coin. So they've definitely gone up in price since that 2018 quote that was there. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot on this particular one, and I can't find any VAM. So I'll send this to a buddy of mine to look at. I'll take the photos and send that over to him. He can look at it, diagnose it, and then confirm what I told him. And he'll probably tell me that I have something wrong, and then he'll explain to me why. But anyway, so that's that. So I think I'm going to go to bed, folks. It's 1:30. I've got a bunch to do in the morning. I hope you guys have enjoyed looking at this stuff, kind of walking through the configuration. For those that have subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing. I don't know why. There we go. If you guys have enjoyed this, if you guys want to do more of this, I'm pretty available for the next little while. I can do some coin searches. If there is something that you guys want to see, if there's something that you guys want to look at. Oh, Jack Riley, what's up, bud? It's worth mentioning a bit of the VAM catalog is out of whack. Near dates being listed as normal, wrong reverse types. Yeah, so you know what? I'll show you this coin. We'll talk a little bit about it. You were the person I was referencing. I just didn't see you in chat. I had moved my screen so that I could monitor that, and I totally missed you. I apologize. But yeah, we'll walk through that. I couldn't really find it. It looks like it's the far date. It has the right markers, but we'll go back through and check that out. Still a cool coin. I want to validate it. Probably overpaid just a little bit, but it's a Redfield Horde. If you guys want to know more about this particular story, I actually have a video on it. It's a great one. Go into my videos, go check that out. It's a really cool story. There's a lot of stories like this that I like to do. But if this is something that you guys are really interested in and you want to learn more about that, then let me know, because I will do stories on just about everything. Because again, for me, it's about sharing wisdom and information and knowledge. It's about going through and talking with people and, you know, understanding what's there and what happens. And so really, really interested in learning more about this kind of stuff. So I would be more than happy. IB Thunder, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Jack's like, I'm awake at 3 a.m. for no reason. Well, yeah, no, you're not awake at 3 a.m. for no reason. We can continue to look at some stuff if you want to. I've got a VA appointment. We can look at, let's check out a Benji. Oh, here, check this out. You see this? See this doubling? What do you think about that? So this is a round that I picked up. This is a Desert Shield. It's a U.S. Navy. You guys know I was in the Navy. And so I picked this up, and when I got it, I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. What a great education tool. So we walked through earlier, Jack, talking about the difference between doubled die and double struck. Explained why this is a doubled die and not a double struck coin. You look at the pieces of information that are there. You can see the rim there. You can see the center point. That's where the design stops doubling. And then as it doubles, you can see how it gets thick. Tells you the class of doubling that it is. If you guys want to know more about the class of doubling and a double die, yeah, isn't that cool? Yeah, that is, that's a lot of fun. If you want to know more about the class of double dies, so this is something that you might be interested in. So you're looking at trying to understand, is it a type 1, type 2, type 3? Maybe you have no idea what that is. Then what you can do, and let me get over here and I will pull up Variety Vista has a really cool thing that talk about double dies. So if you go to Variety Vista, we'll get over here real quick. If you come to Variety Vista and you come down here and you scroll down, you're going to see all sorts of really neat stuff. But up here, there's a whole lot of different stuff that you can see. You can look at things on individual rounds, coins, whatnot, okay? On Wexlers, you can actually come down here and look at your double dies. So if you click on double dies, it'll actually walk you through how a doubled die actually occurs. It'll talk to you about that it's the doubling is actually on the die. It'll talk to you about the information that is there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you guys that are watching vertical so you guys can see this. Let me zoom in a little bit for you all as well. So you'll see that there is the class 1, the class 2, class 3. And as you go through each one of these, it'll tell you a little bit about it. And it'll tell you what the normal coin looks like. Let me shift this over so you can kind of see this a little bit. And then it'll show you the rotation. And in this particular case, this is rotated clockwise. You can see this because the 7 is low and the Liberty is high. So this rotated this direction. Now, earlier I was talking about where that doubling occurred, and it's all around the outside of this coin. That means that the center point, the focal point, is somewhere around the center of the coin. This is your type 1. You want to look at this. It gives you the example that tells you, if you put directly over it, you can see that rotating the transparency slightly about the center point. The center point is the middle here. That's where that is. The doubling basically spread the same way all the way around the coin. If you want to get back out of this and go to type 2 or class 2, then this actually shows you a shifting where it shifts down. Now, this should look kind of familiar. You'll see that there's that shifting. So what exactly is going on this 46 cents? You'll see that the shifting shows on in. The spread of this is towards the rim. Okay, so if it moves towards the rim, this is type 2. So when we go back to that coin that we were looking at and we see this doubling, it's towards the rim it's rotated. We'll talk about what class that is here in just a second. But you can look at this and it'll give you great pictures and show you kind of what's happening. Does this look kind of familiar? Well, keep this in mind. We'll come back to that here in just a few moments. Okay. So let's go back. Let's look at class 3. So class 3, we come down here and you can see the doubling there. It's shifted, right? But what's going on here? You can see that shifting there. It's shifted across. Everything is shifted basically that way. And it'll tell you where it shifted. The variety here shows similar doubling to the date produced in the same way at this one. Again, opposite sequence of hubbings. So first, large date, small date. This is a double one. Really neat coin. We found one of these live in Copper Coin Search. This was really cool. There were 2 of them on my stream on Sunday. Copper Coins, he found 2 of these live. Absolutely phenomenal. So, and then you can see that it had this. It actually had that repunchment mark. So this is the variety that was actually found on Sunday, and it is DADO number 2. Really cool find. If you want to go back and check that out, go look at Sunday's live stream and you'll see that one. We want to get to number 4. You'll see that this one is shifted, but everything is shifted up. And the focal point being here. The focal point is down near the bottom of the coin. And you'll see that everything is shifted that direction. So if you look at this and you try to find out what kind of double die you have, you see that this is really thick. This is a class 6, one of my favorite double dies. This is a thickening, right? You can see the thickening of the letters here. That's what they mean by doubling. You can see the thickness here, the little notching there, the thickness up at the top. See the little serif markers here? You can see it there in the T. See the thickness down below, thickness down there. There's a little thing there and down there. Again, you see the double on the S, a little bit on the T down here at the bottom. See the kind of wonky position of the U. These are all different things that give you insight as to what the class of your double die is. So if you're ever trying to classify those, obviously you can reach in, come into the stream, take some really, really good quality photos. You can send it to Livecoin Q&A. You can send it to me. Well, it's actually going to Paula Bloom. You can send it to me. We can get with other people and walk through it and make sure you have a good understanding of what it is that you're looking at. So really cool stuff, lots of fun. And again, when we go this one, this is doubled towards the rim. And so in this particular case, we are looking at class 2. Okay, so we can look at that information, see that that's shifted. It is rotated counterclockwise, but it is pushed towards the rim. It's not rotated perfectly even in alignment. Otherwise, everything would be here. So this is not a class 1. It doesn't get shifted out towards the rim, but there is that rotation. So again, you can look at this and then kind of identify what's happening there. So that's how you can utilize that. And again, that site is Wexler. And so if you want to know more about that, you can go check out wexlers.com. All right, folks. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. I'm going to go get some shut-eye. I have some things to do tomorrow. If you guys are up for it and you want me to, I can do a coin search tomorrow evening. But at 9 p.m. Eastern, no, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be over at Michael and Nancy, Michael Stackings, and I'm going to be telling a story about numismatics. We're going to be talking about a train heist. We're going to be talking about some things that went on. And again, if you want to know more, exclamation point email, just like this. That will yield my email address. You can send me an email. Again, just as a reminder, I don't buy and sell coins. This is not something that I do. I'm more about education and information, dispelling inaccurate information, making sure you guys have the best information that you can possibly get. If you're interested in counterfeit coins, I did a really cool video with the Anti-Counterfeiting Education Foundation with the executive CEO of Beth. Neat lady, talked a lot about counterfeiting. Go check that out. There's a ton of videos, a lot of educational stuff, a lot of amazing shorts. So there's a lot of good content for everybody. So go check out the site. Go look through it, browse. If you see something that you like, comment on it. Say, hey, I would like to see more of this. I take note of that stuff and I'd be happy to do it. All right, folks. Well, I hope you enjoyed the configuration setup. Talk a little about OBS, kind of how I set my stuff up. Oh, thanks, Dale. I appreciate that. There's a lot of cool content, but I like sharing knowledge. And so as I do stuff, a lot of people, when I was doing a stream with Tiger, I had somebody reach out to me and say, holy cow, the quality of your image was so better tonight. What did you do? And I was like, oh, well, maybe I should teach everybody kind of what I did. If you're a channel member and you want to know more about this, you're interested in streaming, if you are tier 2 and tier 3 of my channel, you get 30 minutes. If you're tier 3, I give you a full hour. I will sit with you, walk you through your setup, talk to you about some very basic stuff. I will give you some assignments. If you want to take it in 15-minute breaks, I do that. Where you take it, you go work on it a little bit, we come back, we consult. I'll do that every month. You get 3 per year. So if we want to separate them to 15 minutes, you get 15 minutes with me a month every year. So there's a lot of fun stuff to do here. I'm not asking for subscriptions. Actually, I take that back. I'm asking for subscriptions. I'm not asking for memberships. I don't ask for super chats. If you want to give them, that's great. If you want to become a member, that's awesome. But money can be tight, and I'm not asking anybody for money here. If you want to support the channel, go watch the videos. Comment, like, share them out. That is way more important to me than you sending me $5 or $10 in a super chat or buying 5 gifted memberships. If you're going to send a membership or do a gifted, holy cow, super chat, I would recommend the memberships. The reason that I say the memberships is you can gift 1 membership, you can gift 5 or 10, but that engages somebody else. Tiger Stacker gifted memberships earlier. And so what happened? Well, people got notified that they were gifted a membership. And so that brings them to the stream. Like, hey, what's going on? I got a gifted membership. It's like, hey, outstanding. Welcome. Thanks for being a member. Appreciate it. Make sure you tell Tiger Stacker thank you for that. And it's a way of engaging and building community. So if you're torn between you want to drop a super chat or you want to gift a membership, I'll always suggest gift a membership. It's a little less money for me, but it's way more engagement for the community. And that is more interest to me. All right. Let's go ahead and sit here. Folks, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming in. Jack, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you coming in and hanging out. Dandy Dave, I will rewatch a second helping. Got some good rest. Oh yeah, definitely will. Appreciate you being here. For those of you who subscribed today and tonight, I really appreciate the support, like sincerely appreciate the support. It's a constant cycle for me. I'm always trying to improve, bring you better content, bring you better graphics. This back here will look a little bit nicer. I'm going to do maybe a plant and some light and actually make it look more like my office but again, give you guys a real homey feel. I'm a normal person and I want you guys to see me as such. And so if you have suggestions, you're like, hey, I've been watching your stream. I really don't like the way that you have the coin search. I think you need to be in the upper corner. I may or may not listen to that depending upon the other feedback that I get. But I do take every piece of information seriously. And if there's something that I hear a lot of people love, like earlier today, hey, your mic is coming across really, really hot, I'll turn it down. That came from a man by the name of Arnold Freeberg. Arnold Freeberg painted that. It actually hangs, the original hangs in the Smithsonian. A really cool thing about that is that I used to work for the man. So I actually worked at Freeberg Fine Arts for quite some time. I've got an artist scripted letter of recommendation. It's got my name on it, so I won't actually show you that, but I can show you portions of it so that you can see that. I worked in his gallery for a number of years. Actually, I watched his house when he was on vacation and stuff. I would go in and take care of stuff and, you know, make sure things were taken care of. Amazing guy. He died a number of years ago. I got learned more stories, found an extreme appreciation for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. I've got a couple of the limited editions of that as well. They're all stored at a climate-controlled area, nice security and stuff to make sure that they are nice. Had them up at my house, but I have kids and I didn't want those things to get ruined, so we took them down. Now that they're older, I'll probably start putting stuff back up. But this is my office piece. This is a piece that when they were doing this lithograph, this is actually the artist proof. On the back of it, it actually has all the colors. And it's like, increase the color of this, focus more of this light, do this kind of like really cool piece. So I actually was given that. It's signed in this corner right there. So he actually signed it for me, signed the book, gave me the letter. So really cool piece, but it's nice. Not as valuable as a painting would be, but it's still a cool piece. So, but I'll be bringing you more sharing stuff out. Part 2 of the Anti-Counterfeiting Education Foundation video is going to be coming out pretty soon. I should have the edits on that done tomorrow. It'll probably be released early next week. I was trying to debate whether I wanted to rush it. I'm going to take my time and make sure the edits on the video were good. So that'll probably come out Monday, Tuesday of next week. And then next Friday is extremely important. I am dropping a massive video If you sell coins, if you buy coins, if you ship coins, you are not going to want to miss this. I have been researching this for quite some time. I've been working with companies to find solutions to solve this problem. And I'm going to tell you, this little piece of advice, this little piece of technology can teach you something that is a serious problem in our hobby. And I don't think a lot of people are aware of it. And so we're going to walk through this. We're going to talk about how this iPhone can actually show you things about what I'm going to be talking about. We'll talk more about it. I don't want to give too much away. All right. Well, I appreciate that, Dave. Thank you so much for that. I'll let my wife know. I'm sure that she would appreciate that. But anyway, hope you guys are good. Enjoy yourselves. Have a wonderful night. I will see you tomorrow. And if you have any suggestions, please make sure you leave them. Be well, be blessed, and I will see you in the streams.